I didn't know how I could be any happier that I had the two of you on, and now I am. Hey everybody, welcome back to a SUBTA Studios Friday Live. I'm your host, Chris George, co-founder and chairman of SUBTA. I'm really excited for today's live. I've got two professors, one from Tel Aviv University and one from George Washington University. And this discussion that we're about to have is truly amazing, as we're going to be talking about purchase regret and consumer behavior. I got Yaniv, Shani from Tel Aviv University and Gil Appel from George Washington University. Guys, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having us.
And so, quick backstory in this. I forgot, someone introduced Gil and I originally, and I got it from another professor. As you guys, some of you know, I speak at different colleges, and then he introduced me to Yaniv and a bunch of other professors, and we, the three of us, had a conversation about 2 weeks ago about consumer behavior and purchase regret, and the conversation was amazing. And I immediately thought afterwards, like, we have to do this on a live. Everybody listening needs to hear this. So for those of you that have brands, you're running a subscription business, you've got an e-commerce site, understanding consumer behavior is critical for the business, and that comes in a lot of forums and doing research, and we may think that we know the answers, but doing a lot of research and understanding data allows you to make better decisions for your business, and understanding consumer behavior helps you make a lot of better decisions for your business. So before we get into it, Yaniv and Gil, please, and Yaniv, if you could start, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit more about you.
Okay, again, thanks for inviting me, Chris. Well, I'm a psychologist, basically. I had my training in psychology, all my 3 degrees. I did my first degrees in Israel, and then my PhD in the Netherlands, and then I moved to Singapore, worked for INSEAD, the business school, and then shifted into marketing and started basically studying decision making. This is actually the place where my friends think that I sold my soul to the devil, because as a psychologist, I usually look for processes and how people make decisions. And eventually I shifted into business school, in which I implemented some of my knowledge into consumer behavior. I study emotions within decision making, specifically regret, purchase regret, decision regret, and justifications. But I'll probably elaborate on this more later. Currently, I'm working for Tel Aviv University at the business school, Kohler Business School, and that's it, basically.
Yeah, thank you for being on. And Gil?
Yeah, I also did my training in Israel, my undergrad and MBA from Tel Aviv University, and then my PhD from Ben Gurion University. When I graduated, I went to USC in Southern California, and last year I joined GWSB, and my training is a quantitative marketer, which means we analyze large data sets to understand customers' behavior. And during my work, I understood that while I know how to work a lot with big data and understand this data science side, we really need to understand more on the consumer side, on why do they do things. And this is where my collaboration with Yaniv started.
That's great. I love that. And I'm really excited again for this. So let's talk about purchase regret, because it's actually something I never even thought of until the three of us started chatting, and then everything started to click for me. So real quickly, let's get into that. What does it mean and how important it is? And let's have some discussion around purchase regret.
Okay, so I'll start. So basically, we need first to understand, what do consumers want? And when we ask ourselves what do they want, we can think about the type of information that they search. So it is common to think that consumers want to make good decisions, and that is true. That is true. They want to make good decisions, and they search information, for example, before they make a purchase, because they want to make a good decision that they can later on justify. But importantly, we need to understand that when consumers purchase a product, this doesn't end there. So in my research, for example, I found out that consumers even search more information after they made a decision. For example, if I bought myself a nice espresso machine or a new fridge, so we can see that people keep on searching information after they have made the decisions. And what we found out that is, the higher the likelihood that they will find out that they made a bad decision, that they were ripped off, that their situation could have been somehow better, the more they want to know about it. Which in a way makes no sense, because when you suspect that you were ripped off or that you made a bad decision, why search? You'll find out that negative information. And this has a lot to do with regret, because regret is an emotion that is constructed to teach us not to make the same decision again. And just before Gil will take over, or you want to ask another question, just let me explain that consumers' decisions are made within a context, not in an empty space. And regret, in that sense, is a very unique emotion, because it is an emotion that forces us to stop and reflect on a counterfactual reality. What would have happened if I only acted differently?
Right.
And that makes the difference.
How quickly are they doing that? How quickly are they like doing that search after they make the purchase?
This is a very good question, because research, this is embedded, I think, in evolution in that sense, because, we always search information, even if it is not instrumental. So evolution has taught us to keep on searching information, even if we don't see.
I just want to add, because your research, Yaniv, shows that even if it's costly and not instrumental, we search for it. We were willing to spend efforts and resources to find information that might not be beneficial for us. Yeah.
It's interesting, it's got me thinking of something about consumer behavior, and I think this could relate a little bit, maybe not. Somebody might go, let's say that gas prices were 10 cents cheaper 2 miles away, right? So they might drive there because they heard it was cheaper. But if somebody was buying a TV and it was $1,000 and a half hour away it was $950, I don't think they're driving, but it's actually more money that they're probably saving. It's interesting to think about that. Why would that be? Why is it? Does that apply to this? Right? Does it apply to if I bought something for $2,000 and I found out later that it was $1,950? Am I having the same regret if I would have bought something for $30 and I found out it was $15? Right? Because because it's like a percentage, Well,
context matters. If you buy something for $1,000 and then you know that you can drive 20 kilometers to buy it for $980, you will not drive it for $20.
No.
But if you buy something for $50 and you hear that it can be just 20 miles away, being sold for $30, then you might want to do it. Okay, not 20
but it's
miles.
still 20, but you're still saving $20.
Decisions are made within a context, not in an empty space.
Yeah. It's interesting. Okay, so with the post-purchase regret, me and you, we've all had a discussion about there being a coupon code spot.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. Because again, we don't search this information about our past decision because we enjoy finding out that we're ripped off. We search for it because we want closure. But again, evolution has taught us that not to make the same mistake again. But how does it relate to regret? That's a wonderful question, because the decision is made within a context, we always compare. And so I'll give you an example, for example, about coupon. So when I want to buy something, I would often enter that specific website that I want to buy from, and let's say that I decide to buy something that costs $80. And when I enter the selling page, basically what I see, the insert coupon box. Now there is no coupon, and I'm aware of. I was not offered anything, but in my mind immediately I start experiencing regret. Why? Because again, the counterfactual reality. I start thinking about, well, someone enjoys the coupon, so there must be a discount somewhere. Mm-hmm. This is where regret kicks in.
Yaniv, am I right in saying that even by seeing that coupon, you're priming price or giving price a bigger importance in the package than it was before? Because here, you see this coupon part and say, oh, price is important. I need to think more about price, and increasing the likelihood of canceling the sale.
Yeah, definitely. This is actually a very good point, because when I see that coupon, two things happen. One, and then I relate to Gil's explanation, this is the second explanation, is that every time I drink in my espresso, I think, oh, I could pay less. So that regret. But Gil's explanation talks about the price. So if there is a coupon somewhere, maybe the product doesn't really value, or maybe the price is too high because someone else says it's been sold for a lower price. So those two explanations, we need to understand what happens in consumers' mind. I mean, it's not that they only want to make good decisions. Of course they want to, but the interpretation is important.
And so they're immediately seeing that coupon code spot. They're immediately Googling coupon code.
Retail Me Not and others.
Yeah, Retail Me Not. And they're trying to find a coupon. They're seeing if one works. And if there's one that doesn't, like sometimes you go to Retail Me Not and the coupon doesn't work. So now you're like, wait a minute, did I miss out on a deal? Should I wait to make the purchase?
Oh, Yaniv, you have a paper on that, right?
What's that?
Yeah.
Yaniv has a great paper on what happens if you have to buy now. You have no other choice but buy now. And what happens if you know that there was a sale yesterday or if there's going to be a sale tomorrow? You have to pay the full price today, but how is that going to affect you?
Yeah, you're not going to make the purchase right now.
Oh, you have to make it.
And now you run the risk that they don't ever make the purchase. And if you make them leave the website to go to Retail Me Not, there's still a chance that they may not make the purchase. Like they've left it. Like they went from this idea and happiness of adding something into their cart, ready to buy, to wait a minute. Hold on.
You've destroyed the joy of purchase.
Yeah. So
we got to eliminate the coupon code spot for everybody.
Yeah, well, exactly. Even give them a $1 coupon. For them, it should make sense because they're using it. They are not missing out something. So there is a restaurant. There are two nice restaurants nearby my house. They all serve basically the same dish. Let's say both cost $100. But I know that one of them used to offer a 50% off discount. Now I have to go to the restaurant and pay $100 for the same steak. Let's say they both sell a steak for $100, but one I know that offer is for 50% off last week. Every bite I take, I feel like I'm missing out because I could buy it for a lower price. So you need to find a solution. Either give them the coupon. So one of the restaurants basically tells me, oh, you know about the discount. If you want, you can enjoy it, even though the discount is off. We can let you enjoy it. So just give them the opportunity to re-enjoy the discount, or give them even a smaller discount, but let them use the coupon. So then, yeah.
So your suggestion is if there is a coupon code spot, make it pretty obvious for them to get some sort of coupon to put in there, because then they'll feel better about the purchase and not maybe potentially won't leave the website to try to find one that's better.
Or take the whole concept off.
Yeah, right, which I love that idea, right? Because I think when we looked, at that moment when we talked about it, I went to apple.com, was like, I guarantee they don't have a coupon code spot, and they don't, right? Apple sets a price, it never goes on sale. And so it's very hard for some of these brands to not include a coupon code spot because there's competition selling things for less. But if we think about subscription boxes, nobody's really competing with them when it comes to the exact same product, right? There could be a workout subscription box. We'll call it Yaniv's workout subscription box and Chris's workout subscription box and Gil's workout subscription box. But ideally, not all three of us are sending the same thing. We're sending different things, right? So you could argue that you don't necessarily, like, there is competition, but it's not like we're both selling a hoodie or we're both selling an espresso maker. It's not the exact same thing. Yeah, I guess what I'm getting with that is, like, I wonder how you could test not putting in a coupon code spot, A/B test that through checkout and see what happens. Or if you're running a promo, have that go to a direct product purchase at that rate versus having a coupon code spot through checkout. Would that work, do you think?
So what Yaniv and I talked about before, it's the entire idea of coupons. Again, it's primes prices. It makes customers feel like they're paying more. It makes customers think about, is it worth it? And there are other ways to offset it. If we make the customer put an effort in for a lower price, instead of just getting the coupon, you're doing something. Let's say you're recycling something. You're doing something that gives them a feeling that they did something positive, and then they get not a discount for this. Without doing that, you pay more. You end up with doing the same thing. You're selling the item at 90% of its value, but you're saying if you don't want to do anything, you'll pay the 100%. If you want to come for us, bring your own cup, recycle something when you buy our stuff, support A, B, or C, then you're doing the same thing, but you're still driving the action without highlighting price. I think that might be an interesting solution, and it of course, it will change by business.
Yaniv and Gil, you guys sent me a research doc that I read, and it talked about
Just
the price of coffee was X. If you brought your cup, it was less. Or no, it was testing bringing your cup for less or paying more if you don't bring your cup. Am I right? Wasn't there something along that context?
Yeah.
So what was the conclusion of that? Was it better that if they had to pay more and they didn't bring their cup versus they saved if they brought their cup? What worked better?
So the idea is that now we are going to justification, consumer justification processes. So basically consumers, in a way, they're looking to justify the products that they wish to purchase. This is actually something that Gil started introducing. So the paper that Gil and I had with our colleagues basically shows that how do they justify? For example, we managed to show that when new products are being offered to consumers and they cannot justify buying them, let's say a new iPhone comes out, let's say in color white for the first time. So consumer accidentally lead the products that they own toward destruction. And in that sense, oh my God, my phone is broken. This is actually where Gil kicks in because he knows how to analyze large data sets and find the processes within it. And basically then it helps them. If it's broken, then I have to buy it. But trading works the same way. So if I would offer you a product, say for 30% discount, or another person, I would offer the same 30% discount, but I would insist that they would bring an older version of the product. So research shows that prices go up, even though it makes less sense because I'm asking you to bring an older product. So in consumers' minds, in a way, they feel less wasteful because they don't have two of the same product. And it works better even with products that they cannot have too many of them. Like with shoes, it wouldn't work, right? You can have so many shoes, it doesn't really matter.
You only have one phone, really.
Yeah, exactly. One, maybe two, in that sense.
So you're saying that that works in a business where there's something to turn in.
Yes. But when it comes to subscription boxes, Gil and I think that part of the explanation has to do with the justification thing. So the subscription boxes is something that goes against our basic nature to choose something that is uncertain. You would send me something, a product and I don't know its content. It's uncertain, and I'm paying money for that. So Gil and I started asking, what purpose does it serve? Maybe it helps me to justify buying products that I don't really need. Maybe I don't know a lot about the product, and you are helping me to sort it out. We don't know that yet, but since Gil and I deal a lot with justification, we have a pretty good hunch about what's going on here.
Yeah, you're helping them make decisions on buying stuff. Is that right?
Well, we want everybody to be happy. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying the subscription box is helping them purchase something that they would normally not decide to purchase.
Yeah, because they managed to change the way they ask themselves the question, should I buy this? Because it becomes to them, instead of am I wasteful for buying all these things, to here, this lets me experiment with new items that I would never buy for full price, but I can now check them out. I can test and see if it has value for me. And actually, I'm not spending money. I'm not wasteful. I'm saving money. So it's all about the story.
But I think when we chatted, you felt like the subscription didn't have to provide more value than what they were spending.
In essence, there is a joy in that. There is a joy in the box. The experience gives you value.
What's your thoughts, Yaniv? I could see it in your face. You've got some thoughts here.
No. I agree. I mean, we have to be very careful with this interpretation. But Gil is right. It gives you some certain of value. The joy of getting a present. We all like present. When you expect something good, we enjoy it. If it gives you value, then perhaps you are willing to pay more. The question, how much more? This is for every person, every vendor to look for the indifference point in which consumers say, this is where I get value from the present that I get, from the excitements of anticipation.
It's way more than that, Yaniv, right? Because we all see online, and like people has unboxing videos, and people watch those videos. They get excitement from seeing someone else unboxing something uncertain because it's a good experience. We're, as Yaniv said, we're waiting for that experience, and it doesn't have to be something expensive or complex. There was my son was watching videos of someone opening surprise eggs, the chocolate eggs with some surprise in it, and he was watching video after video after video, and he had almost as fun as buying that thing. So
there was a company called Prize Candle that doesn't no longer in business. And what they did was it was a candle, nice candle, $20, right? Candles can be $20. But when it melted, there was a piece of jewelry inside. And, 9,999 of them had a piece of costume jewelry. But one person could win a $10,000 diamond ring. And so it worked, but they didn't last. And I think in today's age, a little bit more with TikTok, a little bit more exposure, getting people excited, I think it could have worked well because everybody wants to win something, but they already got value in the candle, right? Like I don't have regret because at least I got a candle for $20.
I have to disagree here because it does have to tie into the product offering.
Okay.
Because it's something completely unrelated. If I'm in the market for candles, a jewelry is nice, but if I can get something that gives me an additional benefit, makes the product even better, that might work better than something completely unrelated.
Using the lottery of like winning the diamond is not good enough. But you just
I don't know. It's just my idea again.
Yeah. Well, we're not in business, so you might be right. But the egg you said, what was coming inside those eggs?
Like toys, small toys.
Oh, I see.
So that's the beauty of Gil and I working together. We develop theories, but Gil has the ability to implement them into real large data sets, and then we see if the ideas are actually warranted. And because otherwise we're just talking, and the beauty of it is to see it with large data sets, and you need to have the skills to basically.
So it's way different than A/B. It's the opposite way of A/B testing. Instead of saying let's test all the options available, let's think. We know how people behave. We know that they have biases. We know that they think their way. We know that they have some things that they need to justify. How can we build our system to help customers and companies to make better decisions?
Yep. No, I mean, look, now this makes sense to me now, right? Like you're right. They're better off in the surprise being something that's still valuable and relevant versus just a hope lottery that I get the $10,000 ring. It makes sense.
It's the same as the surprise boxes, right? They're themed.
Yeah.
You don't buy a surprise box that I don't know what's going to be in there. It's not as much enjoyment as I know it's going to be something that I use. I know it's going to be makeup. I know it's going to be drinks.
Workout stuff, accessories for That makes a lot of sense.
So if it was, I don't know, you get a very special kind. It's hard for me to think about ideas for candles, but in other businesses, you open, you get a drink box and you get the Blue Label bottle instead of.
Instead of the Black Label. Yeah, you're right.
Everyone's supposed, but one will get the Blue Label. That's a lottery. I think is relevant to the product.
So there's a company called Watch King. I know the founder
exactly by your story, and if it's like the shot glasses, right? I might get the more expensive shot glass if I go this way.
Yeah. So there's a company called Watch King, who I know the founder really well. He sends you a watch, at least if depending on the plan you're in. Let's say you're in the $200 plan, you get at least a $200 watch. But once a week, someone might open up a Rolex.
That's cool.
That's done very, very well, right? And there's Tag Tuesdays, so one of them might be a Tag Heuer or something like that.
And it's tied to the product offering.
It's still tied to the product offering, so the consumer knows no matter what, I'm getting a cool watch, and if I get a Rolex,
it's amazing. But anyway, I got something cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So the beauty of it that in general consumers, they dislike they dislike uncertainty. But this is an example to a situation in which the whole context was shifted and uncertainty become pleasant. You buy something, you expect it to come. We all know about consumers' frustration after they got the product, and then all the excitement goes away. But you anticipating something good, and suddenly uncertainty becomes more pleasurable.
God, now you can apply that to so many more businesses. I love this idea.
We have so much knowledge about consumer behavior that it's hardly
Really?
applied.
That's why I have you guys
What we're
on here.
wasting our time is A/B testing of if it's a red button or a blue button. And instead of that, we can think about the consumer instead of the platform.
Because you could, like, even if you were a beauty box, let's say they had beauty makeup, you know what they're getting, but one of those boxes could be one that's got like $1,000 worth of makeup in it.
The greatest gift of all is hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just need to make it statistically common enough, right?
You guys just made me even more. I didn't know how I could be any happier that I had the two of you on, and now I am happier that
I want to say, by the way, that something experiential would be way more than a $10,000 thing. If you could get, I don't know, get the same makeup that the same exact makeup that Kim Kardashian tried, or something like that that has value, because it's harder to put number on it. So, and once endowment effect kicks in, you get this. It's worth for you a lot more than the price it is.
So if maybe you were a tech box, somebody might win like a flamethrower from Elon Musk. I don't know, right?
Or one of the old Apple Macs built by Wozniak.
Yeah. It's an experience.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. Wow. This is good. I think that we're coming up on time here.
Chris, we would love to talk anytime.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we could talk for hours, but just what are there just a couple more? Let's just end on this. What are a couple more consumer behavior habits you're seeing that could be beneficial for the brands to hear about, that they can think about for their business?
Well, people often talk about choice, for example. Should I offer them a large choice, a small choice? You need to remember that the more you offer to consumers, in a way, the more regret you're imposing on them.
Yaniv, you're talking about the choice set? Like you can choose between 15 items, or what do you mean by choice?
Well, in general, I mean, we think that we'd like to think that we offer our consumers more and more and more, and so they would be happier. But eventually, the more we offer, we might actually impose more regret. And we need to remember, there are so many small behaviors that we can look and start to explore. But eventually, we need to understand that consumers, they want to make sense. They want to feel good about the decision that they make. And every time we offer something, we need to understand what it offers to the consumers. This is where you need a theory. This is where Gil and I can actually come to work and basically analyze it and test it. But we need to understand that consumers' decision or people's decision are made within a context, not in an empty space. And every time we offer them something, we need to try and figure out what basically they are experiencing in that specific context. That was a bit abstract, but I think we could narrow it down when we. And Gil, idea? Oh.
No, I think that the idea is always to several things. First of all, it's shocking to me, like how many times we forget the outside option. That the customers don't have to buy what we offer them, that maybe our product is not the best thing for them, and that every time that they choose our product, it absolutely means that they're not choosing something else. And we need to make them be confident and happy with the choice they made. Even stuff like following up, and not in an email, but in maybe another small box saying, we are happy, you enjoyed that last box. Here's something small from us, just to make sure you're excited or to share your excitement.
It's like proactive retention. It's increasing the customer experience.
It's more proactive development, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. No, because you need to remember that the more consumer think between choices, when they choose something, they also lose something. So basically, reinforcing the
triggering their experience, making them think about your product in a setting that's not price.
Yeah. Guys, this was really good. I can't thank you two enough for your time and your knowledge. What you're doing with market research is so valuable. I can't wait to have more and more conversations with the two of you. But thank you again so much for your time. And for those of you that are watching, I hope you saw this was super engaging. Understanding consumer behavior can be very, very important. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You know my email. It's Chris@SUBTA. And we hope to see you next week. We'll be back on next Friday. And Yaniv and Gil, thank you guys again so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to both of you soon.
Thank you so much.